number 1 of 2024. The result of the division on the bill was declared as 21 for ayes and 5 for nays and 0 abstentions. The bill was consequently declared lost for failure to attain the requisite support of at least 24 county delegations as required pursuant to Article 123(4)(c) of the Constitution. Now, following the announcement of these results, the Senator for Nandi County, the Honorable Samson Charankei MP, rose on a point of clarification and stated as follows, and I quote, "I needed clarity on Order Number 10, which is the Narcotic, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2024. By the time we were voting on this matter, the display on the screen on Order Number 10 indicated that 24 senators had voted, and it was highlighted in green that the bill was passed. However, when you announced the results, those of us who supported this bill are surprised that you declared that the vote was lost." End of quote. Now, honorable senators will further recall that the temporary speaker, the Honorable Wakili Hilary Sigei MP, undertook to review the division list and issue a ruling on the matter at a later time. Honorable senators, you may walk in and take your seats. Honorable senators, as you're aware, pursuant to Article 123(4)(a) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 83 of the Senate Standing Orders, voting in the Senate on bills and other matters affecting counties is undertaken by county delegations, with each county delegation having 1 vote. A nominated senator may only vote on such matters in the absence of the head of delegation and upon express designation by the head of the delegation. Currently, there are 13 delegations with more than 1 senator, namely Kwale, Homa Bay, Lamu, Samburu, Uasin Gishu, Nyandarua, Mombasa, Kisii, Mandera, Kajiado, Nairobi, Bungoma, and Bomet counties. Upon review of the division list on the aforementioned bill, the clerks at the table established that 30 senators had voted electronically, with 24 senators voting in support and 6 senators voting against. No abstentions were recorded. At the conclusion of the vote, the temporary speaker, Senator Wakili Hilary Sigei MP, voted verbally by indicating his vote as yes. However, prior to the announcement of the results and upon scrutiny of the division list, it was noted that 5 nominated senators had erroneously participated in the vote. The provisions of Article 123(4)(a) and Standing Order 83 are clear with respect to the voting rights of nominated senators. It is therefore unclear why the concerned nominated senators participated in the division in the absence of proper designation by the respective heads of delegation, and in one instance, notwithstanding the presence of the head of delegation in the chamber at that time. Now, Honorable Senator, Standing Order 90 states as follows, and I quote, "If, after an electronic or a roll call vote has been made, it is discovered that the number has been inaccurately reported or that an error has occurred in the names on the division list, the fact shall be reported to the Senate, and the Speaker shall direct that the necessary corrections be made." End of quote. Pursuant to the said standing order, the temporary Speaker, Senator Wakili Hilary Sigei MP, directed the clerks at the table to expunge the invalid votes by the 5 nominated senators. Consequently, he announced the corrected results as 21 for ayes and 5 nays and 0 abstentions. This was indeed the correct position on the results of the division after the necessary corrections were made. Now, honorable senators, during the same sitting, the temporary Speaker, Senator Wakili Hilary Sigei MP, directed the clerk to undertake an audit of the other 5 divisions. The audit revealed that some nominated senators had erroneously cast votes in those divisions too. However, the anomaly in respect of 4 out of the 5 divisions had been identified and rectified before the announcement of the results, which, with the names of the concerned senators being crossed out from the division list, as was the case for the Narcotic, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Control Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 1 of 2024. Accordingly, the audit ascertained that the results announced in respect of the following bills were accurate and in order. 1, the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2024. 2, the Autism Management Bill, Senate Bills number 19 of 2025. 3, the Environmental Management and Coordination Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 66 of 2023. And 4, the mediated version of the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bills number 21 of 2023. Now, with respect to the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026, an anomaly was identified. A nominated senator participated in the division and cast a vote without having been designated by the head of a county delegation. In accordance with Standing Order 90, I have therefore directed the office of the clerk to make the necessary correction. The corrected results of the division are as follows: 25 for ayes, 0 nays, and 0 abstentions. This does not invalidate the outcome of the vote, as the requisite number of county delegations was attained on this particular bill. Now, honorable senators, in conclusion, the integrity of divisions and the decisions of the Senate made pursuant to Article 123(4) of the Constitution are of paramount importance. I caution nominated senators against casting a vote on matters affecting counties without the express authority from the heads of delegation. Further, I have directed the office of the clerk to liaise with the contractor for the digital Congress system to ensure that only designated senators are enabled to vote to eliminate discrepancies. The clerks at the table are also directed to always verify the accuracy of the division lists before presenting them to the chair for announcement of the results. It is so directed. Thank you. Next order, clerk. Yes, Senator Fernandez, what's your clarification that is seeking?
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the Solomonic and well-given ruling on the matter I raised. But, Mr. Speaker, in the last session, and in the benefit of the hindsight, we had the head of delegation giving in writing the nominated senators to be those letters appointed by head of delegation to the clerk so that they can cast their vote. And then secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, since then that the nominated senators might have voted erroneously, I would have thought, with your indulgence understanding order number 1, and also in the principle of fairness, that you allow the bill to be brought back for the vote again so that we now have clarity, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know how that one can be rectified within our standing orders, but yes? Yeah, it can be allowed, Mr. Speaker, because I believe if you can correct your vote, it means also the vote of that same bill can be retaken. I don't know, Mr. Speaker, maybe you can give guidance because this one will be a precedent that can be used in other votes. But, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for that delivered ruling, and it has guided the House in some of other matters that might rise up in future. I yield back the mic, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Senator Fernandez. Standing Order 63 of the Senate Standing Orders reads as follows. No motion which is the same in substance or any question which has been resolved, either in the affirmative or in the negative, may be moved during the subsequent 6 months in the same session. Subsection 2 reads as follows, subsection 2A. Despite paragraph 1, a motion to rescind the decision on such a question may be moved with the permission of the Speaker. I have since given my permission that a motion be introduced for purposes of rescinding the decision. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026. The message dated Thursday, 11th of June 2026 was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on the same date. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.4, I now report the message. Whereas the National Assembly considered and rejected the Senate amendments to the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026, on Tuesday, 26th of May 2026, following which the bill was committed to a mediation committee pursuant to Article 113(1) of the Constitution, and whereas on Tuesday, 2nd of June 2026, the National Assembly and the Senate, respectively, appointed members to a mediation committee to develop a mediated version of the said bill. Further, whereas in accordance with the provisions of Article 113(2) of the Constitution and Standing Order 150, the National Assembly considered and approved the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of 2026 on Wednesday, 10th June 2026, in the form agreed by the mediated committee on the bill. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution and Standing Order 150 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, as you are aware, the Senate on Wednesday, 10th of June 2026, approved the mediated version of the bill in the form agreed to by the mediation committee and has since transmitted the message to the National Assembly. Accordingly, the bill was presented to His Excellency the President yesterday, Monday, 15th of June 2026, and was assented to. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 236.2, I hereby report a petition by Ms. Martha Adundo and other petitioners requesting for regulatory intervention to save family health options, Kenya, FHOK. As you are aware, under Article 119(1) of the Constitution, and I quote, every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation, end of quote. The salient issues raised in the petition are as follows. A, that FHOK is a long-standing non-governmental NGO with a history of supporting Kenya's family planning, sexual and reproductive health, and youth programs. It is a volunteer-based organization which operates 16 clinics and relies entirely on financial support from donors, the government, and well-wishers. That since 2020, the association has experienced a crisis that threatens its continued existence and undermines public and donor confidence. That there are allegations of corruption, abuse of office, misappropriation of funds, bribery, and conflict of interest involving senior officials of Family Health Options Kenya. That in April 2020, FHOK received credible allegations of corruption and mismanagement from its long-standing international partner, the International Planned Parenthood Federation, IPPF. A forensic audit was therefore commissioned and a report issued on the 26th of August 2020. That following the forensic audit conducted in June 2020, which implicated some members of the board, all major donors withdrew funding from the organization. That the board has failed to exercise proper governance, accountability, transparency, and oversight in the management of the organization. That these actions have undermined transparency, accountability, and member participation in the organization's governance. That the organization is facing serious financial management challenges, including unauthorized borrowing, weak financial oversight, lack of an effective internal audit function, procurement irregularities, and exclusion of the board treasurer from key financial decisions. That the withdrawal of donor funding has resulted in liquidity challenges, weak implementation of sexual and reproductive health and youth programs, and loss of stakeholder confidence. That the association is experiencing labor and employment violations, including salary arrears, non-remittance of statutory deductions, and pension contributions, withdrawal of medical cover, harassment, intimidation, and unlawful termination of staff. That the hostile working environment and poor staff welfare have contributed to the loss of employees and deterioration of staff morale. That governance concerns within FHOK have weakened institutional relationships with the government agencies and development partners, leading to withdrawal of government representatives from the board. That there is alleged misuse, commercialization, leasing, and risk of loss of organizational assets and properties, contrary to FHOK's public benefit mandate. That the governance and financial challenges within FHOK have resulted in decline in service delivery and erosion of public trust. That efforts made to seek intervention from relevant regulatory and investigative agencies have not yet yielded satisfactory action or resolution. That the matters raised in the petition are not pending before any court of law, tribunal, or constitutional body. Consequently, the petitioners pray the Senate intervenes with a view to recommend the following. B, an appropriate measures be undertaken to stabilize the operations of Family Health Options Kenya. Appropriate measures be undertaken to safeguard property, including clinics, plots of land, and public and donor resources. And D, the labor and employment concerns affecting the workers be comprehensively addressed in accordance with applicable laws, including payment of terminal dues owed to the employees. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 2381, I commit the petition to the Standing Committee on Health for consideration. Now, in terms of Standing Order 2382A, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer, which is today, to table its report in the Senate for its consideration. I thank you. Next order, Clerk.
Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate. Today, Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2026. This is a Controller of Budget report on the National Government Budget Implementation Review for the first 9 months of financial year 2025-2026. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, request for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Senator for Embu County, the Honorable Alexander Mundigi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, request for statement on the introduction of a 0.8% levy on tea buyers. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise person to Standing Order 53-1 to check a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of country-wide concern regarding the introduction of a 0.8% 0.8% levy on tea buyers punched on auction value. Mr. Speaker, sir, this measure is likely to adversely affect tea farmers across the country, particularly those producing premium quality tea in factories such as Rukulire, Mongania, and Kathangarire in Embu County. Tea farming remains a cornerstone of Kenya economy, supporting millions of households and contributing significantly to foreign exchange earnings. It is therefore essential that policies governing the tea value chain safeguard farmers' incomes, promote competitiveness, and ensure sustainability. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the basis of the 0.8% levy, including the legal and policy framework supporting its introductions. 2. Extent of public participation conducted pursuant to Article 232(1)(d) of the Constitution within farmers, factories, and stakeholders plus to implementation. 3. Impact on unsold tea stock and the economic hardship faced by farmers, particularly in Embu County. Government measures to mitigate challenges arising from increased transactions cost that decrease farm gate price. 5. Whether the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development has any plan to suspend the proposed KEPSI levy on tea farm factories that was scheduled to take effect from 1st July 2026, pending consultations and assessment of its impact on tea farmers. Senator Mudigi, Embu County.
Now, honorable senators, we have an urgent business to dispense with, and therefore, pursuant to Standing Order 45.2, you'll allow me to rearrange today's order paper. We dispense with order number 10. Thereafter, we will resume the normal flow as contained in today's order paper. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order. Yes, Senator for Nairobi City County.
Speaker, it is, I've seen us rearranging the order paper before the order is read out. But how is it being rearranged in the middle of the order? Because there's a statement that has already been read. There are other statements that are pending to be read. There are only 2 and 3 on the order paper. Why can't we dispense with that order? Then we can defer the comments to the next order.
There's a reason why we are doing that, Senator for Nairobi City County. If you look at order number, we want to see if we can be able to marshal the numbers to do division. If you go through the statements, you've been here long enough, Senator for Nairobi City County. At the end of comments on the statements, we will hardly have what we require to handle order number 9 and 10.
Yes, Chair.
And therefore, and that's why I rearranged the order paper. Now, if you look at order number 9, it's due for division. However, we want to see if we can be able to conclude debate. On number 10, it's moved, it's debated, replied, so that we can handle number 9 and 10 this afternoon.
That's in order, Chair, but just traditionally we have deferred the order at the point of the comments. And as one of the people who is supposed to marshal numbers, I don't think the Chair of Finance wants to upset me because I needed to read the statement and wait for comments later. But I am I am properly guided, Chair.
I think, Chair of Finance and Budget, you've had the mild threat from. You may proceed to call the order, clerk, first.
Order number 10, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2026, second reading.
Chair, you have the floor. Majority Leader and the Chair of Finance and Budget, I'm giving you 1 minute to consult.
It's just a simple request, Speaker, that we have Kagra on second reading. It will take just a minute to vote before the chairperson can begin Kara. I know to raise the numbers that we have this afternoon is amazing. If we delay another few minutes, you never know, Mr. Speaker.
If you undertake to stay, then we can push the two. But if you're not sure the numbers will hold until...
No, let's do an additional, Mr. Speaker, so that it can even allow us to table a cash disbursement schedule. It will only take a minute, Mr. Speaker, kindly.
Very well. Do we have the requisite numbers?
Yes, we do. No need for even to...
Okay, clerk, we will start with 9 and then we move to number 10. 12, sorry, 12.
Order number 12, the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bills number 8 of 2026, second reading, division.
So, Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the bell for 2 minutes. Sergeant at Arms, kindly lock the doors and draw the bar. Clerk, can you put the system ready for voting? Clerk, So, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 83-2A, only senators serving as heads of their delegations or their duly designated representatives, having communicated in writing, shall vote. So, nominated senators, if you are not duly designated in writing, please don't vote. Yes, Senator for Ajir. Is your gadget working, Senator?
No.
So we will vote with those whose gadgets are working, then we'll correct the anomaly once we've seen. Yes, Senator for Meru.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I really agree with your guidance in total. But Honorable Speaker, honestly, I feel the nominated senators are equally to the task as elected senators. I am kindly requesting the delegations which have withdrawn the privilege to the powers and privileges to the nominated senators to reinstate, Mr. Speaker. Because I really feel these senators are very competent. There is no need of losing a vote simply because Senator Sifuna is not here, Senator Mandago is not in this house, Senator for Kajando, Kanar is not in this house. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very unfair, because these colleagues have been here for four years with us.
Order, Senator Fomeru. Unfortunately, the chair has no powers to compel any head of delegation.
It is very unfair to the nominated senators, honestly speaking.
It will seem unfair, but it's outside the powers of the chair. Yes, Senator for Nairobi City County.
Speaker, I want to confirm that the Nairobi delegation were very organized. I don't know about Meru. So, but there is...
Kanar is not in this house. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very unfair, because these colleagues have been here for four years with us.
Order, Senator Fomeru. Unfortunately, the chair has no powers to compel any head of delegation.
It is very unfair to the nominated senators, honestly speaking.
It will seem unfair, but it's outside the powers of the chair. Yes, Senator for Nairobi City County.
Speaker, I want to confirm that the Nairobi delegation were very organized. I don't know about Meru. So, but there is, you know, we are going to elections in under a year, Honorable Speaker. Every single time there is any debate on this floor and a vote is taken, people are following very keenly. And there will be serious consequences for all the votes that we've cast here. So it is not that there is any issue, but I think for us we are organized. But Speaker, I wanted to just add something to your communication, please. When you have conversations, clerk and the administration here, with the supply of the technology, there used to be a procedure you used to do when we were doing the physical cards, where if a member was not present, the card would just be removed. So how is it possible that, how is it not possible for us to have the same here, such that if even if I had logged in, because it doesn't log me out automatically when I walk out of the chamber, there should be a way of just the way we used to pull out the cards. The sergeant at arms come and logs out those who are not here. And basically, the nominated delegates should be special, because these are very special ladies, so that there should be no way for a person who does not have the delegate. You know what I mean, Chair?
No. Dear lovely ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. But there should be a way. Technology has advanced, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Senator for Nairobi City County, if you are listening to me keenly, I said I have directed the supplier of this technology to see to it that something is worked on to ensure that when similar to the pulling out of the card, so that it disengages the senators who are not supposed to vote. Now, honorable senators, let us proceed. The supplier is well advised. So, honorable senators, let us proceed to the vote. Clerk, are we ready? Okay. Now, honorable senators, I will now proceed to put the question that the county government's additional locations bill, Senate bill Senator Gola, kindly approach the dispatch and cast your vote. Majority Leader and Senator for Nairobi City County, kindly take your seats. Now, Honorable Senators, the result of the division is as follows. Nays, 0. Ayes are 28, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The County Government's Additional Allocations Bill 2026, a bill for an Act of Parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the 2026-2027 financial year, the responsibilities of national government and county governments pursuant to such allocation, and for connected purposes.
Such at times you may open the doors and withdraw the bar. We'll now move to order number 10. Okay, Chair, Finance, Budget and Finance, you may table the report and thereafter move the order number 10. Clerk, is the report being circulated in the gadgets of the Honourable Senators?
Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday 16th, June 2026, the report of Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2026, Senate Bills number 10 of 2026. I beg to lay.
Now, Honourable Senators, the report that has just been laid is being uploaded in your gadgets so that you can follow debate and contribute effectively. Chair, you may proceed to move.
Order number 10, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2026, second reading.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2026, Senate Bills number 10 of 2026, be read a second time. Honorable Speaker, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2026, after DORA was agreed upon in a mediated version, initially was, before DORA was agreed upon, initially was published based on 454.7 as passed by the Senate in DORA. But later, using the mediated version of 428 billion, Honorable Speaker, which is 13 billion increase in revenue for county governments, we had to amend CARA in order to make sure that it reflects the 13 billion growth. And Honorable Speaker, as required by various laws, including the Constitution of Kenya, Article 218, and the rest, we've done public participation and engage all the stakeholders that are involved in giving their inputs on CARA. Honorable Speaker, as CARA governs the horizontal share of revenue between the 47 county governments, the 13 billion increase for that is contained in the mediated version of DORA has been appropriated using the fourth basis of revenue sharing formula, which is pretty straightforward. It's not subjective. It's scientific division based on the fourth basis of revenue sharing formula to determine the revenues that are due to the 47 county governments. Honorable Speaker, in doing the same, CARA also, a segment of CARA, not only on the schedule, does not only deal with the schedule that looks at the horizontal share of revenue, but it also deals with the county assembly and county executive ceilings as determined by CRA as required by law. And that is also processed accordingly where some county assemblies had concerns. We have had engagement with about 10 county assemblies to look into that. Honorable Speaker, since the most controversial position is always on DORA, the vertical share of revenue between the two levels of government. When it comes to CARA, CARA is prefabricated on DORA being passed. And once DORA is passed and the 13 billion increase has been realized, the rest is subjecting the same scientifically to the formula, the fourth basis of revenue sharing formula, which is a pretty straightforward division, horizontal share of revenue division, while we also consider the county executive and county assembly ceilings are shared with us by CRA and taking them through the various stakeholder engagement. Honorable Speaker, we requested, Honorable Speaker, for expediting the processing of CARA through the Senate, considering the fact that the Senate is going to go on recess on Thursday. And the financial year would have closed on 30th of June, and new financial year would have commenced before we would have come back from recess. Honorable Speaker, to give justice to our commitment to represent the county government, the instrument that would have governed the flow of funds from to the county government from the exchequer is CARA, and the disbursement schedule, which we're expecting to be shared by the National Treasury anytime. We just felt that the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, in our primary mandate, should not go on recess before passing that instrument that would have facilitated the flow of funds to county government. Honorable Speaker, following that, and since it is non-controversial, I even take the opportunity as I move the CARA bill, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, to request my colleagues to manage the debate in order to make sure that we are able to process this CARA to its logical conclusion as we wait through the request we have already formally written to the CS National Treasury to also share with us the disbursement schedule in time, as well as also facilitate us by making sure they share the equalization fund appropriation bill, which originates from them in time, so that we're able to commence the processing of also the equalization fund. That means then, Honorable Speaker, we would have processed the critical instruments and the legal framework that would have facilitated funds flow to county governments, including, starting from Division of Revenue Bill, which is an act right now, and now followed by County Allocation of Revenue Bill, which we hope to have passed. It's non-controversial. We do not expect any hurdles. That means that before we head out on recess, that should also become an act of parliament. Honorable Speaker, we have also processed the County Additional Allocation Bill, which we hope to conclude before we go on recess. And if we get the disbursement schedule as well as also the equalization fund bill, that means all the instruments that relate to funds that are due to county government would have been deemed processed before the end of the financial year. Honorable Speaker, as I move, it is my humble request that should equalization fund be shared also in time, even though we'll be on recess for the first time, if that can also be processed, even if we have to do special sittings in order to make sure that is processed in time, because the last equalization fund was only ascended into law less than 2 weeks ago, which is very sad, Honorable Speaker, owing to delays from the National Assembly as well as also bureaucracies within our own system. If we can, knowing very well we are going to election year, if we can process these instruments on time. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request Senator Eddie Gisheru to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I want to, right from the start, second, the presentation has been put by the Chair of Finance and Budget. Honorable Speaker, given that I know that a number of senators, want to participate on voting a variety of these issues, I don't want to bore us with much, but I want just to emphasize the idea that this is one of the most critical things that we as a Senate do, being able to fight so that the money not only just get to the counties. From the process we've been going through this past month, actually, where we have been able to add money through the DORA process to counties. From last time, it was 10 billion that we were managed to go through mediation and to be able to bring to counties, and now we have done it to 13 billion. And then, of course, this is a critical part where money must now follow functions by making sure that those that have been allocated are able to go home to our various counties on time. That's the purpose for the disbursement schedule. Mr. Speaker, I think that even as we go to on recess after passing, a couple of these bills today, we must be able to return to the critical issue of accountability. Mr. Speaker, it always breaks our heart, the kind of work that we do in finance and budget, and of course in extension to this House, the money that we are able to send to the counties, and then you see the kind of wastage and leakages that we see in monies in the counties going on, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to share with the Senator that even as we work to conclude on this work today, we must go into the business of oversight, the business of making sure that accountability labs are put in the counties to make sure that our governors are not wasting these monies that we have really fought hard for. So the counties must take note, our population, that we have concluded our work in this week to make sure that both the monies are sent to the counties and as they are sent on time. But then we must give chance to the senators to actually make sure that the governors are using this money appropriately. I don't want to bore us with much because this is self-explanatory, it's quite procedural, as the Chair of Finance and Budget has explained. And to give us a chance to vote appropriately and on time, I want to second and support accordingly, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Honorable Senators, I will now propose the question. that the County Allocation Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2026, be now read a second time. The floor is open to debate. The Honorable Senator Manzo. Senator Nyutu. Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I'm getting very hostile looks from the chair of budget. He seems to have this idea that we should
don't worry about the look.
That we should not debate this, and this is a house of debate. I don't know why he...
You're safe with the chairs, so don't worry about the look from the chair of finance and budget. You may proceed to make your comments.
Thank you for that protection, Chair. The chair of finance seems to have this idea that this is an uncontroversial matter. I will just make one comment, Honorable Speaker. There is no law that is passed here that is non-controversial. And Speaker, it breaks my heart because, you know, the initial calculation, the initial bill, I was looking at the old bill because you had not furnished us with a new one, Honorable Chair. The total amount that was to come to Nairobi was 235B if we had gone with the old Allocation of Revenue Act. And now I've seen that it is 22.1B. I want the senator from Mandera to know that that's a controversial issue for me because, Honorable Speaker, that is a deficit of 1.4 billion shillings that would have come to Nairobi and to help the people of Nairobi here. So whereas we support, please understand our pain sometimes, and we have to say something that we are pained on behalf of the people that we represent. But I support, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Chiranke.
Mr. Speaker, I agree, and as I make a few comments on this bill, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that we are yet to see the report of the committee. I'm told, and I don't know, I was told there is supply of this gadget in the room. We should be told who that is so that we don't need to delay, Speaker. We get the report. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a very important bill. And the issue that money has been allocated, I'm happy Nandi is going to get 8.5 billion in terms of equitable share. This is an increment from last year, financial year. This, I hope, will work for the benefit of the people of Nandi, for provision of health services, roads, and many others, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm happy that we have increased, as the mover of the motion, the chairperson, Senator Ali Roberts, said that we have moved 15 billion. That comes to 428 billion. This 8.5, and I want to agree with the Senator of Migori that now the work is on oversight as the Senate. But Mr. Speaker, while Nandi is getting 8.5 billion, our only worry, Speaker, is we are certified morticians because we only come after, and I think Kenyans should understand this, Mr. Speaker, sir. The fact that after voting for the Division of Revenue Bill, and yesterday the President ascended to it, of 428 billion, is we'll only interact with the report only after the OAG as Article 223, Mr. Speaker, of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. So we are just like morticians and undertakers because we just come, we can't prevent much. I know my brother, Senator Omtata, I don't know whether he dropped his bid to run for president, but that is a story for another day. After I told him he needs 8 billion to run a presidential campaign, has been running to court and trying to assess and trying to demand accountability. But the challenge, Mr. Speaker, and you have been a governor, is we only interact with the reports after the recommendation of OAG. Mr. Speaker, I want to propose to the House, and I hope the Chair of Finance is listening, is we need to give powers to control of budget. I know governors don't like this when we say, so that there is a due diligence before payments are done. Because this is where, Mr. Speaker, we are talking now, where almost 200 billion on pending bills. Nairobi leading. And I think I saw Kilifi yesterday, where you come from, Mr. Speaker, almost 11.8 billion. Mr. Speaker, when your county appeared yesterday, after Nairobi. And yet we disperse money daily, and I'm happy the minority leader and ranking member, Senator Madzayo, is in the House, Mr. Speaker, while the governor painted a close and rosy picture of the county. But when you see at the trading payables, Mr. Speaker, and I know as the former governor and the Speaker of the House together with the minority leader, you need to advise him on how to effectively and efficiently run the county, Mr. Speaker. So this pending bill issue is still a problem, Mr. Speaker, and I have expected the chairperson of Finance and Budget to tell us what they are doing about the pending bills. Even in Homa Bay, Mr. Speaker, where we were today, we saw 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings on pending bills, Mr. Speaker, and we were told there is a number that is eligible and ineligible pending bills, which is killing our counties, Mr. Speaker. I'm saying this because I've received so much petition from even suppliers and contractors in Nairobi, in Homa Bay, in Nandi, where people, Mr. Speaker, in fact, there are ways, I think 1,000 ways. There is a program scientific in some journal, Mr. Speaker, that there are 10,000 ways or 1,000 ways to die. But I want to add, Mr. Speaker, the 1,001 to die is to work and supply for county governments. In fact, Migori is no longer a going concern, even Kitui, Mr. Speaker. So the issue is we must stand. Mr. Speaker, number 2, because I'll make number 3, is on the controversial issue of 8.9 billion that was allocated, Mr. Speaker, for transition of universal health coverage staff, Mr. Speaker. I would have expected the chair of Finance and Budget, Mr. Speaker, because we have not had peace. We have not had peace. This is not a DCP rally. Don't worry. We are saying serious matters here. We have not had peace unless the senator of Laikipia lives in mass. Mr. Speaker, even you have received a number of messages. The UHC staff of 7,400 who have worked, Mr. Speaker, for 6 years under contract. Yet they are yet to be confirmed under permanent and pensionable. We receive, Mr. Speaker, I receive almost over 1,000 WhatsApp messages and SMSs asking their fate, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank His Excellency the President. He was in Kajiado and appealed to Council of Governors to confirm the UHC staff into permanent and pensionable because 8.9 billion had been allocated. I expected the Chair of Finance and Budget to answer the question whether 8.9 billion, and I know he will do the reply, was given as a conditional grant, and that is why the USC staff, the Kenya Union of Council of Officers, KUKO, the KMPDU want to go on strike because the argument is that 8.9 billion was given as conditional allocation and therefore not to confirm the USC staff that is 7,400. And I want to challenge Council of Governors, and I know members of Finance and Budget are here. You normally meet with these governors, especially during the process of finances. I want to call upon, if the Council of Governors don't want to confirm the 7,400 UHC staff, as per this division of revenue, Mr. Speaker, then they should return it to the national government and allow the Ministry of Health to confirm these 7,400 and be taken to National Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker. But I think with 8.9 billion that has been given, Mr. Speaker, this one should be more than enough to ensure that our children, sons and daughters in UHC are confirmed into permanent and pensionable staff. And I want to challenge, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, that any UHC staff that would not be confirmed to permanent and pensionable, make sure you wake up early, dress in your clinical or a doctor's gown, Mr. Speaker, or the clothing that belongs to the doctors, Mr. Speaker, the scrubs, walk to your governor's office and pick a permanent and pensionable letter. Mr. Speaker, we are tired of babysitting and telling governors to confirm the UHC staff. I want to challenge instead, Mr. Speaker, because I saw the official, I think it was said Panyako, that they want to come to Parliament to demonstrate to do what? We finished our work. They should demonstrate in individual governors' offices. Although I know most of the governors are absentee. Most of them are here in Nairobi, then they are in the counties like the Wajir governor. Mr. Speaker, most of them are in Nairobi more than in their homes. Most of them are in Dubai and South Africa. I'm told, Mr. Speaker, when Dubai was bombed, they shifted their base to South Africa, Mr. Speaker, to Calavant and perambulate, Mr. Speaker. So they should look for those governors, Mr. Speaker, where they are. Mr. Speaker, my governor has also been absentee for forever. Nowadays, he's an errand boy of CS of Interior. just attending funerals. We have given him to be the chief mourner. He's now Iron Boy and the chief messenger in the succession politics, Mr. Speaker, in Rift Valley. So, Mr. Speaker, the point I wanted to drive home, we cannot be passing laws in vain. The USC staff, please don't come and disturb our speaker here at the gate. Go to your individual governors. Pick, Mr. Speaker, the USC staff, Mr. Speaker, including Migori, because that is where it should be, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, the final point I wanted to make is, of course, on the community health promoters. I think we have agreed that we need just to still review their stipend to be at least 18,000. Mr. Speaker, we ask 5,000 is good, but it's not good enough. So the chair of Finance and Budget must and should be able to tell us, Mr. Speaker, what they are going to do to ensure. Mr. Speaker, the final point is on Article 219.
What is your point of order, Senator Ali Roba?
Honorable Speaker, I rise on point of order 105, Standing Orders 105. I want to seek, in responsibility for statement of fact by the Honorable Senator Cherargei. There is a lot of very heavy statements the Senator has made regarding, leaders in this country, including his own governor, and that. Can he substantiate or provide the House with evidence of the statements he's making as to the extent that these governors live in Dubai and South Africa, and some governors are errand boys, as he has shared, Honorable Speaker, so that the House of decorum are not demeaned by statements that are not substantiated appropriately by the Honorable Senator. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Indeed, Senator Fernandez, you have made very grave allegations against several state officers. Are you in a position to substantiate the allegations that you've put forth? If you are able, proceed to substantiate. If not, proceed to withdraw and apologize and conclude your remarks.
Mr. Speaker, one is, how can I substantiate the obvious? Mr. Speaker, how can I substantiate the obvious? And I didn't mention names, but Mr. Speaker, give me
Senator
next sitting.
Senator Fernandez, it cannot be the obvious, because the Senator Ali Roba, he has no knowledge of what you've just said. So it cannot be obvious. There's some senators here who are strangers to those allegations, and therefore they wish you to substantiate those allegations. You may proceed to do so now.
Mr. Speaker, I can be allowed tomorrow?
You may proceed to substantiate tomorrow. Conclude
and I
your
think
remarks.
the chair of Finance and Budget is jittery because he's a former governor. Mr. Speaker, what I wanted to make is on Article 219. That's Article 2, and I'm supporting his bill. You know, if he keeps irritating
Senator Fernandez, just withdraw that.
Jittery part.
You are imputing improper motive, which is contrary to our standing orders. Kindly proceed to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw and apologize, but the point has been made. Mr. Speaker, Article 219, Mr. Speaker, is very clear. I want to look to CS Mbadi into the eye that when Parliament has appropriated money, it should be, Mr. Speaker, the biggest challenge. And you know, by the way, Mr. Speaker, let me play the devil's advocate. Most governors, their only defense line is late exchequer releases, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the argument is that they could not utilize their budget because the National Treasury has not released money in good time, Mr. Speaker. So Article 219 is not a statement as an invitation to a trade. Mr. Speaker, it's a constitutional obligation. Mr. Speaker, in the last session, we censured CS Ukur Yatani when he had delayed in disbursement of funds to counties, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy Senior Counsel and Commissioner Okongo Mugeni is in the House. Article 219 is not a suggestion. It is a constitutional obligation that when Parliament has, Mr. Speaker, when Parliament has passed or appropriated funds, it should be released to the counties without undue delay. That is the wording of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, if we had a functional National Assembly, this should have been the ground to do vote of no confidence to the CS of National Treasury, Mr. Speaker, because we appropriate unless the National Treasury, Mr. Speaker, unless the National Treasury is telling us.
Senator Fernandez, would you wish to be informed by the Senator from Migori?
Yeah, you can inform.
You may proceed, Senator Eddie Okech.
Mr. Speaker, and perhaps my chair of Finance and Budget could help here, because we are facing a thin balance whereby we can have excuse for mischief on governance on this issue of disbursement schedule. I have the disbursement schedule that was already shared in our Committee in Finance and Budget. I don't know why it is not in the House yet. We have a forwarding letter from the CS Mbadi that he had requested for this one to be approved as fast as possible. And Chair, because Finance and Budget Committee is actually a committee of this House, perhaps it would be interesting for the Senator of Nandi to know that in the disbursement schedule that I have already, we have the schedule here between July 15th.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Yes.
Has that document been tabled before the House?
Chair, because
if not, then you cannot make reference to it.
Chair, that's what I'm saying, that perhaps there need to be clarification from the Finance and Budget, because I have it from Finance and Budget Committee, and I don't know why we don't have it in the House.
Because that's why, as you're wondering, yes, I fully agree with you, Senator Eddie.
Yes.
But the problem is that document is yet to be a property of the House, and therefore you cannot make reference to it.
But you see,
and drawing information from it to help the Senator Fernandez may be inappropriate at this time.
Chair, my request then is, because of integrity issues, if the Senator of Nandi is debating that the Minister of Finance hasn't sent that schedule to the House and continue debating as such,
no,
then we're just excusing the governors.
That is not his point. He's making a general comment that over the years, there has been delay in release of exchequer to counties from the National Treasury. You may conclude, Senator Fernandez.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the Senator of Migori is jittery when I mentioned the CS of National Treasury. That's a public office. It's not a tribal office. So we are dealing with him in terms of competence and ability to deliver, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandez, where is that coming from? Honestly?
No, because he's shouting over the aisle that wachana na waziri.
Senator Fernandez, you may have to withdraw, and indeed you have to withdraw that statement that you've put in the tribal card. You are again imputing improper motive to your colleague.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the tribal factor. Mr. Speaker, because you have to protect me shouting over the aisle and say, wachana waziri lima magavana. Mr. Speaker, that is why I wanted to read Article 219 of the Constitution as I conclude. A county share of revenue raised by the national government shall be transferred to the county without undue delay and without deduction, except when the transfer has been stopped under Article 225 of the Constitution, of course with the approval of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying, as you have captured my thoughts succinctly, is that counties, the National Treasury, after we pass, Mr. Speaker, the National Treasury should release money without undue delay. That is only my argument, Senator of Migori. So that when we all governors to account, when we oversight governors, they have resources to do their job, Mr. Speaker. And that is the argument I'm just putting across, Mr. Speaker, that after we have passed the cash, Mr. Speaker, sir, after the chair and the Senate has appropriated, has passed the money to counties, let us ensure that the money reaches counties in good time so that, Mr. Speaker, when we come and debate and also oversight, Mr. Speaker, through the Office of the Auditor General report, through the Controller of Budget report, Mr. Speaker, it is easy to all accountable, Mr. Speaker. But that one does not give the governors the latitude to misuse funds, Mr. Speaker. We are aware in Vihiga where 5 million was used for housewarming, Mr. Speaker. In Bungoma, there was 3.8 million that was used to buy a Christmas tree. In fact, in Homa Bay today, we noticed that in Homa Bay, they were using 2.8 million to construct a governor's gazebo. A gazebo is where you beat stories with the villagers. And there is no money in hospitals in drugs, Mr. Even in Siaya, Mr. Speaker, we were being told, and the party leader, and ODM party leader is in the House, the distinguished senator, Mr. Speaker. We were being told that money was being misused, yet we have given money, Mr. I don't know why I mentioned the party leader, Senator Oburu. People decided to switch off my mic. But, Mr. Speaker, I yield back and I support. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me also support this bill, the revenue allocation bill for the financial year 2026-2027. Mr. Speaker, one thing I want to really emphasize is that 12 counties, including my own county, were given preferential treatment through the affirmative action component of the new formula. And they are supposed to share 4.46 billion for the next 5 years. Now, if you look at this bill, that translates to around 371 million shillings for each of the 12 counties. Mr. Speaker, I think something needs to be done, either through this bill or maybe through oversight mechanism by the Finance Committee to ensure that this money is ring-fenced for development only. Mr. Speaker, the reason why we gave this affirmative action to the 12 counties was so that they can do some development. We did not increase this money so that they can spend this money on recurrent expenditure. I am concerned because most of the 12 counties, Mr. Speaker, are utilizing this money for recurrent expenditure. Some are even using this money to pay pending bills. That was not the objective of the affirmative action. So I want to ask the Finance Committee to maybe conduct an oversight activity around the utilization of affirmative action allocation, because it is not serving the purpose to which this House passed the money. The purpose was so that that money is ring-fenced for development. And I'm saying this because even in my own county, these 371 million shillings is not used for development, is used for recurrent expenditure, and that's not the purpose to which these funds were ring-fenced for the 12 counties. But nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, we are talking of an amount of 428 billion that is supposed to be shared by 47 counties. I know I made my contribution during the division of revenue bill discussion to say that it is unfortunate that the government has not complied to the 10 points agenda that stipulated that in the financial year 2024-2025, counties be given 450 billion. That means we are 2 years behind what the 10 points agenda requested. I want to request that next time we are having a mediation arrangement, Mr. Speaker, we need to fight harder, because it has become a norm that whenever we go for mediation with the National Assembly, we get an increase of only 5 billion. We are lucky this year it is only 13 billion. I think we can do better than that. That is the only major mandate we have as a House. And I think that is a moment where we need to lobby hard, bargain hard, and I don't see any reason why we should be overly worried about interfering with the timelines of financial timelines in this country, because if our rights are not met as defenders of devolution, then we have to keep on fighting. So I think that in the next financial year, which will be done when we are just about to face election, that is 2027, 2028, I think we need to close this House by ensuring that we surpass the 450 billion that was envisaged by our late party leader, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is the only way we can support devolution in this country. Mr. Speaker, looking at the ceilings, particularly for the county assembly, there has been a marginal decrease or increase in the ceilings. Mr. Speaker, one important thing that this House should not overlook is that we passed a bill that gave the county assembly autonomy, financial autonomy. But it seems there is a problem that this bill has not been implemented in our counties. And we are seeing the same arrangement, the same confusion that was there, the same blackmail from the county executive continuing to happen in our counties, and county assemblies are suffering. I think this is another area that I would request the committees involved, the Finance Committee and the Devolution Committee, to move with speed and ensure full implementation of the bill that we passed in this House to give county assemblies financial autonomy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Seki.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also come in support of this bill, the County Allocation and Revenue Bill 2026. Honorable Speaker, this bill comes at the time when the county governments are waiting for this financial year. Honorable Speaker, it is true that my other presenters has presented in this floor, the release of funds is very important at this moment. And we are here to approve and release funds to counties. This is a bill that releases funds to counties, Honorable Speaker. And it is important that counties get to understand that this money is coming at the right time, so that at least between this year of 2026, 2027, the counties, administrations, governors need to allocate and apportion the money accordingly, because I think this is the only year that they do have to implement the development that they have already budgeted for, and try to see if they can finish the projects that they have earmarked for their counties, Honorable Speaker. My county, blessed to have 9.8 billion Kenya shillings, which is an increase from the last year's allocation, Honorable Speaker. And this gives a reflection which we need to know that there are many pending bills within the counties. Even in my county, we have quite a number of pending bills. And this is the time where counties and governors need to know that we are approaching the election year, which the Mwananchi are ready to bring them back to those who are supposed to come back, those who are finishing their term. They need to see the issue of pending bills, because it has been a thorn on the flesh, Honorable Speaker. you get that many traders in the counties that have done works in the county governments, they are really in trouble. Auctioneers are all over, auctioning their properties, selling their properties, Honorable Speaker. And this becomes a big issue to county governments. And this is a time which now, as we continue to strengthen oversight to county governments, it is important that we get to understand there are a number of projects that are not completed. Others are not even, that have not been started. And county assemblies together with the county government, they need really to go down and get to understand which are these projects that are not completed, because this financial year is almost the last year for their completion of their projects, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in issues of education, I sat in the Committee of Education, Honorable Speaker. And this committee, we have a lot of problems with county governments, which they are not doing the functions that are supposed to be doing in ECD and vocational training colleges, Honorable Speaker. They are not even allocating the money that they have planned, they have budgeted for. They are not implementing that money, Honorable Speaker. This is the time that now we are releasing money to county government. They need to know that one of the functions of county governments is education, is ECD and vocational training colleges, Honorable Speaker. And most of the teachers, most of the counties have not employed these ECD teachers on permanent and pensionable. They are still on casual, Honorable Speaker. This is the time when now county governments need to do that, employ them on permanent and pensionable, follow the SRC guidelines, and make sure that they have bought and do infrastructure for ECDE and even for vocational institutions, so Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is important that this bill needs to be observed even national government, national treasury, so that at least county governments get money on time. So that this kind of an excuse of county coming to our committees and say that we don't have the allocation, national treasury is delaying money, it is the time when now the national treasury also need to release money on time. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I support this bill. Thank you very much.
Yes, Senator Mugen.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I also rise, Mr. Speaker, to support the bill, the motion that is on the floor that wants to ensure that we continue supporting our counties with adequate resources, Mr. Speaker, so that they continue providing services to the people whom we represent and whom we have been tasked to fight for as senators. Mr. Speaker, first, it has become a ritual, Mr. Speaker, that every budget-making cycle, we make a proposal to increase resources to our counties, but the National Assembly has remained a big stumbling block, Mr. Speaker, in terms of, not supporting the effort that senators are making in ensuring that we increase the supply of resources to our counties. Mr. Speaker, I hope that we shall revisit. You know, Mr. Speaker, we made a proposal in Naivasha when we went for our induction, and we agreed that as senators, we need to close ranks and support a constitutional amendment, Mr. Speaker, that was meant to give the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, a say in budget-making process. Mr. Speaker, till and unless, as senators, we rally together and support that amendment, Mr. Speaker, we will always play second fiddle to the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, there is no Senate I've come across anywhere in the world that doesn't have even an opportunity to deliberate on the national budget, Mr. Speaker. Even the House of Lords in UK, that is not elected, Mr. Speaker,
The House of Lords does not even elect their own speaker. Their speaker is elected by the House of Commons. But after the budget, Mr. Speaker, the budget is presented before the House of Lords, and they deliberate on it. How come, Mr. Speaker, that the only thing as we discuss as Senate is budget policy statement? How can you discuss budget policy statement, but you don't discuss budget, Mr. Speaker? We need to do something as senators to ensure that we find a way of bringing that budget here, so that we also discuss the budget of the Republic of Kenya as senators. Mr. Speaker, you are elected by the people of Meru. You received more votes than any of the MPs from Meru County, Mr. Speaker. How come that you don't have any say on how resources are shared in this country, Mr. Speaker? We must revisit this issue, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want our governors to now start delivering on services to the people, Mr. Speaker. We worked very hard. I acknowledge the immense support that we received from Senator Wambua, Mr. Speaker, that proactively or affirmatively increased resources to some 12 counties, what we now call affirmative resource support to the 12 counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I sit with Wambua in Park. The money that was given to counties, Mr. Speaker, was channeled to what? Recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker. We gave Nyamira 371 million, Mr. Speaker. Shockingly, the budget in the governor's office has increased to a whooping 400 million, Mr. Speaker. What a shame, Mr. Speaker. And that money was intended, Mr. Speaker, to build our health facilities. Our hospital called Nyamwetreko Eye Hospital in West Mugram has remained installed, whereas I had hope and expectation as the Senator of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, that the moment I gave my governor an additional affirmative money, 371, he was going to do something that the people of Nyamira will remember that this was an effort of their senator, yours truly here, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what we shall do, Mr. Speaker, to preach to our governors that they need to put first and foremost service delivery, Mr. Speaker. But I hope, Mr. Speaker, that now that my county has hit 6.2 billion shillings, the first ever, Mr. Speaker, I hope my governor will now confirm my ECD teachers to become permanent and pensionable, Mr. Speaker. Can you imagine, Mr. Speaker, my ECD teachers in Nyamira earn 12,500, and they are working on contract, Mr. Speaker. With this money, Mr. Speaker, unless the governor wants to be the enemy of ECD teachers, he should now use this money, Mr. Speaker, to confirm our ECD teachers to be permanent and pensionable, Mr. Speaker. I want, when I go to the county, Mr. Speaker, from the month of July, all the community health promoters, Mr. Speaker, should be paid their arrears, because we have now released money, Mr. Speaker. The way governor will have tea and mandazi in his office, we also want our community health promoters, Mr. Speaker, to have their money in their pocket. They can also take care of their families. I hope, Mr. Speaker, that the governor will employ health care providers, nurses, doctors, so that our hospitals are well resourced, Mr. Speaker. We want to see tarmac roads in counties, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be that every time we send money, we increase resources, the only language governors will tell you that we have opened roads, that we have put some maram. If national government is tarmacking, Mr. Speaker, why can't governors also tarmac our roads, Mr. Speaker? 428 billion is not pocket money. It's not just pocket money. That's a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. We need to see some changes at our counties, Mr. Speaker. How can you be maraming roads day in, day out? The road heading to my home, Tinga, Igenaitambe, was marammed last year. This year again, you look at the public accounts reports, you will see another report that that same road has been marammed again. When you ask, you are told, oh, you know, it rained, the maram was swept. That's not the way we run country, Mr. Speaker. 3, I hope our independent officers that are supposed to fight corruption, EACC, DCI, can intensify the war against corruption. I was happy, and I commend EACC, that I saw last week they recovered money from an officer who earns 400,000 shillings, Mr. Speaker, who had in cash 65 million shillings. I don't know which senator, whether there is any senator in this house, who walks around with 65 million shillings, including the senator of Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. I wonder if that effort was to go to the doorsteps of governors, how much money we will find hidden in homes of some of these governors. Mr. Speaker, if it's money that we need to increase, if it's allocation of resources to EACC, let us increase allocation to EACC so that they can help in fighting corruption, Mr. Speaker. It cannot be, Mr. Speaker, that you become a governor and tomorrow we find you have bought a chopper, Mr. Speaker, through a job that you have been given by the people, through an election. It should never be, Mr. Speaker. So I also want to plead with the Director of EACC, Abdi. Please intensify efforts of fighting corruption. The more we increase resources, Mr. Speaker, there are governors who are already salvating. They are saying, pesa inakuja. Not to go and flock money has been spent in my county of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, and you will be surprised, Mr. Speaker, that there is nothing tangible. People are not feeling the impact of money we are getting from our donors, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, you get a report telling you that the county government of, let's say, Kitui, has received money to make the city clean, to do garbage collection. But what welcomes you to the headquarters of Kitui is garbage everywhere. Yet the reports that come to us, Mr. Speaker, you are told we have now cleaned the city. I invite you, senators, to make a surprise visit to Nyamira. Stop in a market called Kebirigo, all in Kerok, Mr. Speaker, and you see the kind of garbage you see there. I want to appeal to our governors, Mr. Speaker, to also join efforts with senators. We are doing the best we can, Mr. Speaker, to support our counties. But unless governors also join efforts and put service delivery ahead of their selfish interests, devolution will never be meaningful to our people. I support Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator John Yutu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I also rise to support this particular bill, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to thank the Finance Committee for the good work that they did, Mr. Speaker, having proposed 454.7 billion. Though, Mr. Speaker, the National Assembly Budget Committee was not able to approve the whole. But, Mr. Speaker, following the mediation, at least we were able to get an increase of 13 billion, though we proposed 454.7, but we were able to get 428 billion, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say that the National Assembly, especially the Budget Committee, must be persuaded or asked to be considering whatever you propose here, Mr. Speaker, because constituencies exist within counties. The same Mwananchi that the National Assembly serves are the very people that the county governments serve, Mr. Speaker. And especially when it comes to health, that everybody, including the members of the National Assembly, have families that receive medical care from counties. And that is why we would want to beseech them that when we take our estimates and our proposals to them, that they should be giving it a favorable consideration. But Mr. Speaker, I must say that counties must also, besides what we allocate them here, counties must also see to it that they collect enough own source revenue, Mr. Speaker. And one thing that can really aid that is automation of collections by counties, Mr. Speaker. So we must call upon counties also to see to it that they raise their own source revenue, especially through automation of this particular exercise, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like most of those that spoke before me have said, we cannot have incremental or raised allocations and retain the same services that we used to have, Mr. Speaker. There must be a reflection on the ground. Mr. Speaker, when I served as chair of the Committee on Education in this House, we were able to pass recommendations that every other ECD teacher serving in any county in this country must be employed on permanent and pensionable terms. And not only that, that every teacher's individual qualification must be considered when we pay them their salaries, Mr. Speaker. Because what has been happening in counties is that you find a diploma holder, a certificate holder, a degree holder paid the same salary, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we passed as a Committee on Education the recommendation that every individual teacher's qualification be looked at, Mr. Speaker. And with this particular increment in the allocation to counties, they should, all governors and their executive, should be able to see to it that ECD teachers are employed on a permanent and pensionable basis as we have recommended as the Senate, Mr. Speaker. They must also pay them according to SRC guidelines. And not just pay them, I mean just get them on a permanent and pensionable basis and without paying them the required or the salaries recommended by SRC, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our health, which is a major a function of counties, devolved function, Mr. Speaker, has been ailing in most of the counties, where sometimes counties have no stocks of drugs. Sometimes counties do not have sufficient number of healthcare workers, Mr. Speaker. Sometimes counties even delay the little stipend, allow me to call it that is paid to CHWs, Mr. Speaker, community health, CHPs, Mr. Speaker. Counties must now be prompt in paying CHPs their stipend, even as they cry that the national government has not paid its portion of the stipend to these particular workers, Mr. Speaker. They must also equip our hospitals. In most hospitals, Mr. Speaker, run by counties, you'll find that even basic things like X-rays are not available. With this increase, with this raised allocation, Mr. Speaker, counties must see to it that they equip the hospitals that they run so that our people, when they go to those hospitals, they receive all a whole package, all the services, including, diagnostic services, Mr. Speaker, so that we may be able to give our services our people better health care, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, cancer has become a major problem in this country. Very few counties have cancer centers. And I want to call upon counties to consider, those starting in a small way, whatever they do, they must see to it that they look at this particular menace and start cancer centers and grow cancer centers with time progressively so that our people may receive these services that are very expensive, Mr. Speaker. And we know that sometimes counties also get problems, Mr. Speaker, with the failure of disbursement or failure of pay by SHA. We must also call upon the national government, upon SHA, to pay counties their claims in good time and the right amounts, Mr. Speaker, so that the services that counties offer may continue happening. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to agriculture, sometimes we do not, especially when it comes to livestock, we do not see some services that we used to see when we were young. We used to see veterinary officers, Mr. Speaker, going around villages and, offering what was called AI services. These days, it's very hard to find those services, Mr. Speaker, especially not readily available, especially in the rural areas of counties. This is something that counties, with the additional allocation, can be able to fast-track, Mr. Speaker, and also have field officers advising our people on the quality of their soils, the plants, the crop that can do better, that can do well in our soils, Mr. Speaker. These are services that our people need. Field officers to also educate our people on better farming and agriculture practices, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the things that our counties should be able to do so that we see to it that the drafters of the 2020 Constitution who wanted that counties offer these services may actually rest easy wherever they are, Mr. Speaker. And recurrent expenditure is something that counties must also arrest. I mean, not arrest, but see to it that they do as per the recommendations of the Public Finance Management Act. They must see to it that they cap it at the 35%, that they operate within that particular limit that we have given them, because it's possible. I mean, let them employ only the necessary staff, Mr. Speaker. And finally, Mr. Speaker, counties must arrest all corruption. Counties must be accountable for the funds that we are sending them. And those that have spoken here this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, have talked about, governors, who are living in largesse. Governors, who are now very rich since they were elected, Mr. Speaker. And the Auditor General should also be able to carry, I don't know whether it's possible for the Auditor General to be carrying out lifestyle audits, of governors. Because, somebody cannot be, people declare their wealth every year. It must be looked into. People cannot live in largesse when our people are looking for services, important services that they cannot be able to get, Mr. Speaker. And these conditional grants, I see it. I serve in the Committee on Land, Natural Resources and Environment, Mr. Speaker, where we are dealing with the FLOCA. And it is true that there is a lot of wastage of funds. There is a lot of pilferage. There is a lot of corruption in this, Mr. Speaker. Corruption must be arrested in counties so that the funds that we send there may go to serve our people and not to serve those that are serving in the executive. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I support. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Senator Enoch Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand to support this report and the motion by the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the County Allocation of Revenue Bill 2026-2027. Mr. Speaker, I'll have a few things to say in support, but also to share an opinion. And I'm happy that the chair of Finance and Budget is in the House and keenly following what members are saying about this bill. Mr. Speaker, let's begin by congratulating the committee for coming up with this bill, and after serious deliberations with the National Assembly on the mediation, they have been able to give an additional 13 billion Kenya shillings to counties from the previous financial year. Speaker, first things first, I have followed those mediation conversations very, very keenly, and I heard time and again the members of parliament from both houses who participated in the mediation pointing out that the additional 13 billion Kenya shillings that was given to county governments
a good percentage of it should be used to settle pending bills and other trade payables and reduce the pressure on Kenyan business people working with county governments. So, Speaker, at the advent of devolution, there was excitement, especially from contractors. You know, people who never imagined in their lifetime that they would be contracting and working with government. They started working with government and they were signing business contracts with county governments running into millions of shillings. Mr. Speaker, that joy has been turned to serious sorrow for a lot of these contractors. That they have accumulated a lot of pending bills. They have pushed actually some of these contractors to bankruptcy. Some have been told of cases of some contractors, Mr. Speaker, who have actually even committed suicide because of the burden that they have been given by county governments for non-payment of pending bills. So I'm expecting, Mr. Speaker, that the pronouncement by the mediation committee on the use of a percentage of the 13 billion to settle some of the pending bills, that by the time we are coming to the next financial year, Mr. Speaker, we are going to see a serious reduction on the pending bills, especially from county governments. Mr. Speaker, you may want to require the Senator of Mandera and the Senator of Garissa to pay keen attention to what Kitui is saying. You know, I don't want to go there, Senator Abdul, but that's fine. So, Mr. Speaker, the second thing that I want to say about this bill is that I want the people of Kitui that sent me to the Senate to represent them and the interests of their government to know that even though we have not gotten the amount of money that this is money that can be used to transform the lives of the people at the grassroots. I am happy to note, the Speaker, and I know I've seen the Senator for Makueni and the Senator for Machakos, and I hope they will get an opportunity to also contribute to this bill, that cumulatively the southeastern Kenya economic bloc is getting an additional 944 million Kenya shillings. That the three counties of Ukambani are getting almost an additional 1 billion Kenya shillings in this financial year. Cumulatively, the allocation to that region, cumulatively, the three counties, is that 1,603 million Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, you know, one of the bills that, and I do not want to put the Secretariat on the spot on this one, Mr. Speaker, I have proposed a regional economic blocks bill to entrench the regional economic blocks into law so that now counties can lawfully appropriate for cross-county projects. Mr. Speaker, the minute we begin to look at counties as regional blocks to undertake major projects with contributions from all the counties within the block, then, Mr. Speaker, we may begin to have meaningful development in our regions. So, Mr. Speaker, with that 1 billion Kenya shillings this year going to the southeastern Kenya economic bloc, the 3 counties of Makueni, Kitui, and Machakos, then it is only fair to expect that there will be meaningful development in that region. Mr. Speaker, there is a matter that a number of my colleagues have addressed themselves to on the matter of the affirmative resource allocation to 12 counties in Kenya, the so-called small counties. And I see the senator of Elgeyo Marakwet is smiling because he knows that this Senate, in its wisdom, invoked the provisions of Article 203 of the Constitution, and 35 counties in this country, led by their senators, agreed to donate 4.4 billion Kenya shillings to 12 small counties to try and bring them at par with the rest of the country. Mr. Speaker, you know, I sit down at times and listen to people asking what the Senate does. And I say, it must be very true when the Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. The Speaker, that move by the Senate was a masterstroke. That 35 counties said, we shall allow 12 counties who are part of this country to get an additional 371 million Kenya shillings every year for the next 5 years, Mr. Speaker, so that we can spur growth in those counties. Mr. Speaker, to the amazement of all of us, and Mr. Speaker, without bragging, I moved that amendment myself. But the amazement of all of us, those 12 counties are the most notorious in doing the wrong things. They are the most notorious in trying to avoid or evade accountability. Mr. Speaker, it's a big shame. And I want to call on those governors. And I see the senator of Tharaka-Nithi is here. He was part of that team that worked very hard to ensure that we give additional monies to their counties. Kirinyaga is here. And he worked very hard, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we give more funds to their counties. But if these senators get an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to even contribute to this bill, perhaps if they will tell you the frustration that they're having with their governors, trying just to push for accountability and saying, when I go back to the Senate, how will I convince my colleagues that they did the right thing to give us additional allocation, a special consideration that was given to these counties? Mr. Speaker, I want to ask those governors, because there is still 2 more financial years to go. I mean, this financial year and then the next financial year, to try and put this money into better use for the benefit of the people in those counties. Mr. Speaker, the third issue that I want to address myself to, now this I want to address the senator of Mandera, my friend, who was the chair of the Finance and Budget Committee of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, Article 176 of the Constitution is the one that establishes county governments. And it defines the county governments without ambiguity. that they consist of the county executive and the county assemblies. And Mr. Speaker, in that definition, there isn't an arm of government in the counties that is superior or subservient to the other. They are both arms of government. Mr. Speaker, I have seen we have had a minimal increment in the revenues that we are sending to county governments. In their wisdom, and this is what I want the Senator for Mandela to consider going forward. In their wisdom, they have proposed to us in this bill that we increase the ceilings for recurrent expenditure for the county executives by 1.8 billion Kenya shillings, which is fine. Where I have a slight problem, Mr. Speaker, is when they propose to us that we reduce the ceilings for recurrent expenditure for county assemblies by 744 million Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, we must appreciate certain things because we all represent counties and the interests of devolution. That the county assemblies, truth be told, have been underfunded and to a great extent they live under the mercies of the executives. Mr. Speaker, why can't we look for a way of ensuring a greater level of autonomy for the county assemblies, and not just autonomy, but also financial muscle, so that we are able to plan their spending, not always with a very tight budget, but at times some bit of flexibility to ensure them even be able to serve their people better. The Speaker, I say this because in the hierarchy of elected leaders, it is the representatives of the wards that have a greater touch with the grassroots than any other elected leader in the country. These are the people that every morning when they wake up, there are people from their village, there are people from their families, people from their locations, from their sub-locations, bringing issues to them. Mr. Speaker, a way must be found. I wouldn't say that I have the solution, but a way must be found. Just in the same way, Mr. Speaker, that we have found a way of pushing for the ability of senators to undertake a level of oversight for the county executive, a way should be found, Mr. Speaker. And this I challenge the chairman of the Budget and Finance and Budget Committee, because he himself is a product of devolution. He has served as a governor for the entire term, 10 years. He's now serving as a senator. So he is acquainted with devolution and the nuances around it better than maybe a lot of us. to just find a way of making it possible for members of county assemblies across the country to be a little bit more autonomous, to be able to even carry out proper oversight, primary oversight over the executive, Mr. Speaker. Because that way then we begin to see devolution working. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. One of the biggest challenges to devolution, and again, the chairman finance should also hear this, where I see the biggest challenge to devolution is when we started the chain of devolution and we got to the county headquarters. It is like we stopped devolving at the county headquarters. Senator Robert, the Speaker, may benefit from this. I don't know whether he is a beneficiary or a culprit on this matter. We devolved. And then when we go to the county headquarters, it's like we froze devolution at the county headquarters. There will be need to devolve further. And the Speaker, the Constitution envisages a situation where the ward, administratively, becomes the lowest level of devolution, where decisions, even decisions on expenditure, can be made at the ward level. Because devolution, the way I understand it, the Speaker, was never supposed to be just the establishment of county headquarters, and then all the decisions about the county are made at the county headquarters. We should go further, including devolving more funds to the wards, helping the ward representatives to be more effective in their oversight roles. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I support.
Senator Murango.
Asante sana Mstahiki Spika kwa nafasi hii ya kuchangia mswada huu wa ugavi wa pesa zinazoenda kwa kaunti zetu. Mstahiki Spika, cha kwanza ningetaka kushukuru kamati ambayo kamati husika kwa sababu ya kazi nzuri pamoja na kamati ya maridhiano ambayo iliweza kufikia mahali tumefika leo na kupata hizi fedha. Na zaidi Mstahiki Spika ni kuongezewa kwa bilioni 13. Kwa sababu kama tungepata bilioni 13 labda bunge la seneti ndio ingelaumiwa. Na kawaida hata mgonjwa akipona malaika anaokoa, lakini akifa daktari ameua. Kwa hivyo kwa hii nasema kwamba kamati imefanya kazi nzuri. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nitaenda moja kwa moja na nishukuru bunge la seneti kwa sababu ya kukubaliana na kupitisha ya kwamba hatua za udhibitisho zipitizwe kwa kaunti zile 12 ambazo zilikuwa hazingeweza kupata mgao sawa kwa sababu hazina ukubwa na hayana vigezo vingine ambavyo vilikuwa vinatumika katika mfumo mpya ambao tulipitisha kugawa hela. Mstahiki Spika, ukienda kaunti ya Kirinyaga imepata ongezeko kufuatia hatua hiyo udhibitisho ya shilingi milioni 371. Lakini Mstahiki Spika, kuna kitu ningetaka niseme ya kwamba fedha hizi zinafaa ziende kwa maendeleo endelevu wala isiende kutumika kwa kulipa mishahara ama kwenda kutumika kununua mandazi na chai na vikao ambavyo vina maana. Mstahiki Spika, naongea hivi kwa uchungu kwa sababu wiki moja imepita nyumba zaidi za 20 zilichomeka pale Kerugoya, lakini hakukuwa na gari ya kwenda kuzima moto ambao imekwama takriban miezi saba ama mwaka moja. Mstahiki Spika, Mstahiki Spika, wale walio kuwa wanatarajia kupata huduma kutoka kwa wazima moto wa kaunti la Gatuzi la Kirinyaga hakuweza kusaidika, kwa hivyo walipoteza nyumba zao na mali zao. Walimbidi waanze kujaribu kuzima moto wakitumia karai zenye wanatumia kuoga na wakiomba mvua iweze kunyesha ili moto iweze kuzimika, lakini haikuwezekana. Kwa hivyo Mstahiki Spika, ningetaka niseme ya kwamba tunapoongeza hizi fedha tuhakikishe ya kwamba Gatuzi, gavana wangu, gavana wa Iguru, hakikishe kwamba umenunua gari kwa dharura za wazima moto, kwa sababu watu wamekuwa wakihangaika na kuomba gari kutoka sehemu zingine kuja kuzima moto. Ya pili, Mr. Speaker, ni hizo bilioni 13 ambazo zimeongezewa. Pia nimeweza kuangalia ripoti ambayo imetoka katika kamati husika na kuona ya kwamba kamati ya maridhiano ilisema kwamba hii fedha itumike kwanza kwenda kulipa malipo yanayosumbiliwa, ile pending bills ambazo gatuzi nyingi hazijalipa. Mr. Speaker, kuna watu ambao walipata fedha kidogo sana. Walifanya kazi kwa county kwa kutumia fedha kidogo sana. Unapata mtu ambaye alifanya kazi ya kuleta daftari na kalamu za 300,000 miaka 7 mpaka saa hii hajawahi lipwa. Na ili hali alienda kwenye benki akaenda kakopa ili kufanya kazi ile kwenye kaunti zetu. Ambao sasa wengine wameuziwa mali zao kwa sababu mandalali wamekuja kwa sababu ya kushindwa kulipa zile fedha ambazo walikuwa wamechukua wakidhania watalipo waweze kujikimu, Mr. Speaker. Kwa hivyo ningeomba bunge zetu, hizi bilioni 13 meongezewa, muanze kulipa mandeni kwa watu ambao wamevumilia na nyinyi mmesheni fedha zao katika gatuzi zetu, waweze kwenda kumaliza fedha ambazo walikuwa wamelipa, waweze kuokoa mali yao. Jambo lingine, Mr. Speaker, ni katika maana ambayo kana za kiuchumi ambazo kwa kimombo zinaitwa economic blocks. Zile kana za kiuchumi, Mr. Speaker, nadhani wewe umetoka eneo ambalo tuko na eneo la kiuchumi, hazina maana kabisa, kwa sababu hakuna mshikamano. Mr. Speaker, kanda zile na fedha ambazo wanapatia sahihi, wakiamua kwamba atashirikiana kutafuta soko kwa pamoja, soko za majani chai, soko la miraa, soko la kahawa, mchere na kila kitu, Mr. Speaker, wangeweza kupata soko na tuweze kuuza, tusikae tu kila siku tunategemea serikali kuu. Lakini kwa sababu wamelegea, Mr. Speaker, ndio unaona kila kitu na kilimo kimegatuliwa. Kila siku unasikia mangavana wakisema serikali kuu, serikali kuu. Hizi fedha tunawapa waweze pia kutumia kwa kutafuta soko katika mazao husika katika gatuzi zetu, Mr. Speaker. Jambo hili lingine, Mr. Speaker, ni barabara katika maeneo ambayo yanakuzwa chakula na vitu tofauti, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, kwa kweli ni kwamba serikali kuu imetenga takriban bilioni 250 kutengeneza barabara, ambao ni kweli, kwa sababu natarajia pia katika eneo sana sana mahali nimetoka Kirinyaga, eneo la Mwea, litaweza kupata mgao ili waweze kutengenezewa barabara mahali kuna kuzwa mpunga sehemu ya Mwea, kwa sababu barabara ni mbovu sana, Mr. Speaker. Lakini serikali inapotafuta fedha ambayo naomba na kusihi waweze kupeana mgao, ambao gunia la mchele kutoa shambani saa hii na karibu zaidi ya shilingi 1,000 kuitoa shambani pekee yake, kwa sababu miundo msingi yote imeharibika. Pia ningetaka katika fedha ambazo tumeongeza gatuzi zetu sana sana Kirinyaga, mweze pia kuchangia kuhakikisha kwamba miundo msingi na barabara katika maeneo yanayokuzwa mpunga, kahawa na mchele imetengenezwa ili mazao yaweze kufika sokoni, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ni vizuri pia tuseme kwamba hizo fedha ambazo tulipewa na bunge la Seneti bilioni 4.46 ambazo zilienda kwa zile kaunti ndogo 12 siweze kutumia kwa njia inayofaa. Na ni kweli kwamba wakati tunaita mangavana kuweza kuwajibika, ndio unasikia sasa mihemko inaanza, Mr. Speaker. Tunaanza kuitwa majina na kuonekana kama sisi ni maadui. Lakini fedha ambazo tumeongeza siku ya leo, kwa sababu kuna hizo bilioni 13 na pia zile ambazo tumepewa kupitia hatua za udhibitisho, ni vizuri zitumike vilivyo kusaidia wananchi, Mr. Speaker. Juzi wale wafanyikazi wa hospitali kuu ya Kerugoya katika gatuzi la Kirinyaga, unapata wale ambao wanaosha wagonjwa, wenye wanatumika kulisha wagonjwa, wenye wanafua nguo na kuhakikisha kwamba marazi katika hospitali zetu ni safi, Mr. Speaker, walikuwa hajalipwa kadri ya miezi 3. Na tulipoulizia tuliambiwa ni kwamba fedha hakuna kutoka kwa serikali. Sasa nataka niweze kumwambia gavana Mumbi wa Igoro kwamba leo katika kikao cha leo katika bunge la Seneti tumeongezea fedha, kusiwe na aibu na mateso kwa wanaofanya kazi katika gatuzi zetu. Na iwe kisingizio ni kwamba fedha hazimo wala hazijatosha, Mr. Speaker. Kwa sababu wale watu ni watu, Mr. Speaker. Na unajua sana naye kula na kijiko ajui mwenye kula na mkono ukuu anachomeka. Gavana anapopata pesa yake ya mishahara na amepewa marupurupu mengine, akumbuke ya kwamba wale wandogo ambao wanahudumu katika hospitali zetu pia wameangaliwa na kulipwa kwa muda unaofaa. Wanaanda za kukimu katika shule, wana malipo wanafaa kulipa kwenye hospitali, wanafaa kulipa nyumba wanapoishi, kila siku wanaamuka na kwenda kazini. Kwa hivyo itakuwa ni jambo la aibu kusikia tena kwamba wale wafanyikazi wanafinyiliwa na wakiongea wanadhulumiwa. Mstahiki Spika, Mstahiki Spika, nikimalizia ni kwamba ukulima umekatuliwa, na juzi tumekuwa tunaongea sana na wahusika wakuu katika ukulima, sana sana wanaohusu mambo ya makandamia. Mstahiki Spika, jambo la kutia moyo ni kwamba nilisikia soko la makandamia litafunguliwa hivi karibuni, ili makandamia iliyo na maganda iweze kuuzwa nje ya nje. Mstahiki Spika, Mstahiki Spika, mimi ni mkulima. Mimi kila siku kama kuna matatizo katika wanaolima maziwa, mimi nayapata. Mkulima wa jani chai napata, wenye wanalima miraa napata hiyo malalamishi, wale ambao wanahusika katika ukulima akawa napata hiyo malalamishi kila siku. Mstahiki Spika, kwa hivyo nataka kusema kwamba serikali ikifungua soko la makandamia hivi karibuni, bei itatoka mahali kwa ambao ni kama shilingi 30 na ipande mpaka 200 ama zaidi. Na hatutaki sana kuwa na bei elekezi. Mstahiki Spika, hakuna mahali mkulima wa makandamia akilipwa shilingi 250 atanjikuna. Sio lazima wambandikwe, lazima wapewe shilingi 100 kwa kila kilo ya makandamia. Mstahiki Spika, wapewe nafasi, soko iwe huru. Mtu mwenye anataka kununua makandamia nchini akuja anunue bei nzuri, ili soko iweze soko ifunguke, mtu auze mahali anataka kuuza mali yake. Mstahiki Spika, na nikimalizia Mstahiki Spika, niseme ya kwamba tunapoelekea uchaguzi, kunakuwa na tambia kwa baadhi ya mangavana kukosa kulipa anda zinazosumbiliwa, pending bills, kwa sababu wale wanamaliza miaka 10 wanajua wanaokuja ndo watapambana na huo mzigo. Na ndio ningetaka Bunge la Seneti kuwe na mipango maalum kwamba fedha zote ambazo zitaongezewa gatuzi zetu kuanzia mwaka huu, kwamba itakuwa kulipa mandeni iwe ni kipaumbele, ili wasiendelee tu. Unapata kwamba gavana walioingia bado wana malimbikizi ya malipo ambayo yanasumbiriwa. Mstahiki Spika, na kuna wengine alikuweko, na kama wanafanya bajeti inavyopaswa, wanaokota pesa zao ndani kwa ndani, wanachukua pesa pia kutoka kwa serikali kuu. Mstahiki Spika, kwa nini kuwe na malipo inayosumbuliwa kwa gavana ambaye muhula wake alikuwa anafaa kupunguza malipo yanayosumbuliwa? Sasa unakuja kupata ya kwamba hata zile zinasumbuliwa na malipo yanaendelea kuongezeka. Mstahiki Spika, lakini Mstahiki Spika, sana sana kuna mangavana wanafanya venye wanataka, lakini pia najua kama Murango ni ngumu sana kungojea kivuli kilichonyoka kwenye mti umepinda. Mangavana wengi wamepinda. Mstahiki Spika, na ndio naomba kamati za bunge hii waweze kunyoroshwa ili maendeleo yaweze kupatikana. Mstahiki Spika, asante sana. Mstahiki Spika.
Senator Olekina Redama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by appreciating this House for being diligent to discuss the issue of revenues being sent to the counties. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if there's a time that when I look at both sides of the aisle, I see quorum, it is normally during this time. And this demonstrates how keen each member is to be able to send money to their counties. Mr. Speaker, a lot of people do not know the work of a senator. They think the work of a senator is to go and build hospitals, to build churches, to build roads, to build schools. This is what the work of a senator is: to be able to develop legislation, put a spirited fight that will be able to send money to the counties. Mr. Speaker, today when I stand here, I'm happy that my county of Narok is getting additional allocation. Excuse me, my paper is here. Shoot. Mr. Speaker, I have to look for my paper, but I have to remember the exact figure. If you give me the report, please, so I can refer to it. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that my county of Narok is getting an additional, I think, 250, Narok is here, 297 million shillings This is 297 million shillings from the 13 billion that we added during the mediation. So in total, Narok County is going to be receiving 10.6 billion Kenya shillings. Now, here is where the biggest problem is. Mr. Speaker, I was just looking through the pending bills, and I've noted that my own county has got pending bills amounting to almost 6 billion. So the question is, we are here fighting so hard to send money to the counties, but we are accumulating more and more and more pending bills. If, Mr. Speaker, we don't become creative as a House, both the Senate and the National Assembly, we will continue to encourage this fiscal indiscipline in our counties. Mr. Speaker, the total amount of pending bills which is owed by all the counties cumulatively is about 183 billion shillings. If you look at the figure which is owned by the national government, which is around 458 billion shillings, the first question that comes to mind, which we have to resolve as a very serious arithmetic question, is how do we instill fiscal discipline, promote fiduciary responsibilities in these counties so that we end this issue of trade payables or pending bills. Mr. Speaker, I get tired. Every time we come here, we pass legislation. We pass motions. And when we pass those motions, implementing them becomes a heavy task, like you deciding that you're going to go naked and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It's not going to happen. You know, you'll probably die before you get to the top. So, Mr. Speaker, I have been thinking seriously about how do we solve this problem. And I wish the chair of Budget Committee was here. Because it boils down just looking at the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the Constitution, from Article 212 to 214, on the issues of public debt, the only way that we can instill fiscal discipline in these counties and also the national government is first when we ourselves realize that the money that is owed by the counties, it is not those counties that owe them, it is taxpayers. Because you will have to get money from taxpayers to allocate that money to counties, and then they pay. So this is an issue of public debt. So pending bills in county government is public debt. It makes difficult for small business enterprises to be able to operate. So the most logical thing that we can do, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that my sister, the Vice Chair of the Budget Committee, is here, is to look at the PFM Act. Look at the PFM Act and, in fact, amend Section 109 of the PFM Act. Because this constitution that we have in the country talks about the public debt and what can be charged to the consolidated fund or other funds. In this case, we've got the county revenue fund. So in this case, we need to amend the PFM Act so that we can be able to make sure that when we are now discussing CARA, when we are sending money to counties, we redefine serious accountability. The term serious accountability, we redefine it in the law, such that when the money goes to the counties, the controller of budget shall not release money unless that money is going to clear those trade payables or those pending bills. That is the only way that we'll be able to have fiscal discipline in this country. If we don't do that, Mr. Speaker, we'll end up being in debt. People will continue committing suicide. County governors will continue lining their pockets, buying choppers, doing whatever they do best, living a life that they would never otherwise live, because we are encouraging it, Mr. Speaker. From that side of the aisle, I can see we've got about maybe 10 or so senators waiting to speak on this matter so that they can be seen to be sending money to their counties. But when it comes to the issue of accountability, we are failing. It is not only the county governments that are failing, but Parliament is also failing. It is not only the executive which is failing, but Parliament is the one which is failing. Because we have the power of the purse. But when we have the power of the purse, we we play musical chairs because we do not want to be able to be rigid to ensure that when this 10.6 billion is going to Narok County, it clears the entire pending bills. Mr. Speaker, when I was in the mediation committee, I said this, and I strongly believe this, that the most important thing that we can do is that this additional money that we are sending, that money goes to pay pending bills or trade payables. That was issue number one. Issue number two, Mr. Speaker, is to be very strict when it comes to the sending of money from the control of budget to the counties. We've all been talking about this issue of IFMIS. We've spoken about IFMIS having an end-to-end system whereby there's no fiscal interference. But no one wants to implement that. Everybody wants to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, you've got an IFMIS accountant, you've got your CCM finance, you've got a second authority, so that by the time you've requisitioned money from the control of budget, the list of pending bills that you've sent, and the control of budget under the Constitution releases the money to you because you've demonstrated that first, you budgeted for this money. Second, this is what I'm paying for, and these are the things that we did. Releases, but when the money hits your account, because you need a second authority, you divert that money to pay your friends, to be able to start other projects. So my suggestion was, let us not start any project. And the only people who can help us here is the budget committee. It is only the budget committee that can say, now we are talking about sending this CARA. I don't suppose, and maybe I'll be guided here, Mr. Speaker, I don't suppose that we cannot amend this CARA to include a provision that says pending bills must be the first charge of account. And when a county does not demonstrate that they have paid the trade payables or the pending bills, the control of budget stops the money. We have to find a way. And I think the control of budget, and I think if you read the law clearly, if you read Article 228, I believe, that talks about the power of the control of budget. We can support this control of budget, not to make life difficult for counties, but to instill fiscal discipline and enhance the fiduciary responsibility. Article 228, Mr. Speaker, Section 5, the controller shall not approve any withdrawal from a public fund unless satisfied that the withdrawal is authorized by law. So I am suggesting something which I think most of you will find it utopian. But if it is the thing that is going to be able to bring fiscal discipline, so be it. Is that we amend this CARA. We amend this CARA and we put a provision that says that unless the pending bills are the first charge of account, the controller shall not withdraw the money. Mr. Speaker, when we were during the mediation, the National Assembly brought the Division of Revenue. When they brought the Division of Revenue, they were removing clause 5, which says that whenever there is a shortfall of revenue, the national government bears the shortfall. Why can't we not be ingenious now and say, we amend this CARA? And I hope I'm not just speaking to myself, I'm speaking to my colleagues who are listening and trying to internalize what I want them, what can help bring fiscal discipline. We bring a clause in this CARA that says that with the share of revenue, no development will be budgeted for unless the previous development projects have been paid. All of them. That's issue number one. Number two, that the pending bills shall be the first charge of account. And when the pending bills are not the first charge of account, the controller budget should not release funds. That is what the Constitution says. It is a matter of interpretation, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, unless we want to continue playing musical chairs, unless we want to continue encouraging people to commit suicide, unless we want to continue encouraging corruption in these countries, we must now completely think outside the box. We must be creative on how we force a fiduciary responsibility. Otherwise, we'll all be here talking. Now my pending bills have gone to 753 to 6.6 billion. I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, that my good friend, Captain Robert, has just walked in. And I want to repeat what I just said so that Captain Robert can be able to hear. I think it's about time that we amend this CARA. Introduce a clause that demands that pending bills become the first charge of account. Number two, that under Article 228, subsection 5 of the Constitution, which gives power to the controller of budget on releasing funds, that she shall not withdraw that money, send that money to the counties unless it is supported by law. And the law now will be that these are the pending bills. This is what is going to pay. And we stop. The third one we can add into it is that no development, the entire development budget for the next financial year shall not be implemented until the previous financial year have been cleared and have been sorted out. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Transport, under the good leadership of C.S. Churchill, has moved so fast to clearing every pending bill in the road sector. So the bills that they are accumulating now, I think that they are budgeting. In fact, it gets even neater, Mr. Speaker. KERA have got a discipline, fiscal discipline, whereby they will not advertise a road unless they have money. Money has been transferred from Treasury to their accounts. So they have the money. Why can't we distinguish men and women in this house? Why can't we borrow from that and bring in fiscal discipline? That's the only thing we want. You know, PFM, I've always argued that the PFM Act, you know, should not be static. The PFM Act should be amended based on times. If we do that, Mr. Speaker, there's no reason as to why this country cannot be a first-class world, our country. All of us are happy when we come to Nairobi. We come to Nairobi because most of us here live in our manicured mansions, you know? In fact, I always say that when somebody is elected into office, all of a sudden they become billionaires and they live in Karen. That's why I say I'll never live in Karen, because it appears like in Karen is where all the money, whether ill-gotten or people have worked so hard, is where everybody goes to Karen. In fact, when you meet someone, they say, oh, so you moved to Karen, you live in Karen. Because people have a culture where when you go there and you find the way people are living, you also want to emulate those people. You don't know how they got there. You don't know if it is old money. You just find a few deals. If there is any loophole in the law, you actually exploit that loophole so that you too can be able to live like them. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to end by saying the following 3 points. Number one, Narok County and all the other counties, every single county has received more money because of the effort that we put in. The amount of money that we receive, which includes the one for Narok County of 297 million, let us start by demonstrating that we care about a fiduciary responsibility, that we want the future generation to be able to find a better country, that we want Narok County also to be developed like Nairobi. Start by paying those SMEs their pending bills. That is issue number one. Number two, let us consider amending this CARA. Let us not be rushed to passing legislation. Let us amend this CARA just like the way the National Assembly was trying to amend the division of revenue to introduce a clause that says when there is a shortfall in revenue, we share the burden, county governments and national government. But we knew very well that that was against Article 219 of the Constitution. Let us amend it, make sure that when we leave, because this is the last year before elections, that the money that we send to counties is going to make sense. Because come next year, the money that will pass, the executive will get all its share, Counties will start getting their money maybe in September, something like that, when when there are new governments in place. So the only thing that we can say we'll take home and that we can be judged with is by making sure we develop legislation that will supersede us. Mr. Speaker, today I was eulogizing one of our leaders called the Honorable Lempaka, who was among the first legislators in the East African Legislation Assembly, who passed on from my community. And I said, listening to his story and listening to everyone who eulogized him, I deduced that he was more obsessed with the legacy that he's going to, the impact his legacy is going to have in this country, rather than being obsessed with being famous or being, or glorified. He was obsessed not with the fame, not with the glory, but with the impact that his legacy will leave. Can we please borrow from that leaf? Let us be obsessed by making sure we bring in fiscal discipline to our counties for generations to come. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Wakori, Majority Whip.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to add sense onto this matter of the day on the County Allocation Revenue Bill 2026. And Honorable Speaker, is to appreciate the role of Senate in ensuring that Bungoma gets